Hey, I'm Deborah Arneson. Welcome to Planet Lean. Throw yourself a lifeline and get your health in order and expand your nutrition IQ all in one little mini webinar. So today we're talking about the glycemic index of foods. The glycemic index is pretty much well known to diabetics or pre-diabetics. They have to watch their sugars. So I'm going to expand your nutrition IQ today and teach you a little bit about the glycemic index. If you don't want to hear any of this and you want to hold one thought in your mind about the glycemic index, then just realize that foods that are eaten as they are grown, not packaged, not made up in a laboratory, not manufactured, do not have a long shelf life. Foods that are taken out of the earth, picked off a tree, plucked off a bush, eaten as they're grown, have a higher ratio of fibers, which stabilize your sugar and help you burn fat, blast fat, and poop like a racehorse, which also helps you to blast fat. So the glycemic index rating scale goes from 0, and our healthy fats and oils, our avocado, our guacamole, our raw seeds and nuts are all down here on the lower end of the glycemic index, whereby we have certain fruits and vegetables down here as well. We get up into the 50th, 60th percentile when we get into like beans and legumes and things like that. So beets and beet sugars and brown rices are in the 60th percentile. Going above 60 is a problem, so we'd like to keep you lower. Once you get down here into the 80th percentile, we're looking at some whole foods that are eaten as they're grown, i.e. melons and corn and carrots, that are in the 80th and 90th percentile. So they're high in sugar. Is that a no-no? No, not necessarily. It just means you shouldn't eat a ton of those or consider corn or beets or peas to be a vegetable. They are a starchy carb. So take these and make sure you put plenty of fat in that meal to lower the glycemic index of that food. Look here, you've got 90th percentile would be anything white is going to be in the 90th percentile and above, meaning that it elicits a huge insulin release and therefore you store fat readily, especially if you're very adept at storing fat, which most Americans are. Why are we? Because we've been eating nothing but proteins and carbohydrates for the past 30 years. Both proteins and carbohydrates convert to simpler sugars called glucose in the liver. That glucose is driven to the brain for energy. The excess glucose is delivered to the waiting room to be decided upon as to whether or not that glycemic food is going to become energy to be burned if you exercise or fat if you don't, to be stored. If you look up here at coffee and alcohol, sodas, diet sodas, even decaf coffee, these are in the 150th percentile, which means that they're going to blast fat like crazy. So I never have a cup of coffee without adding a tablespoon or 2 of coconut oil to it to bring that 150th percentile glycemic index number down to about 60 or 70. So start looking at the glycemic index. Become a savvy shopper. Realize the foods you're eating, probably most of them if they're packaged or you're shopping on the outside areas of the store, you have foods that are live, and if you're shopping the inside aisles of the store, you are eating foods that are going to be very, very high in the glycemic index. And I'm Deborah Arneson, bringing you Planet Lean, Throw Your Health a Lifeline, and I'm so glad you joined me today to expand your nutrition intelligence.